Wow. That's awesome. That is the first time I've actually seen that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's great.
Welcome back, Paladins fans. We are here for these premier qualifiers. My name is Hi-Rez pretty here. This is Kret today. Evan is not with us right now, but it's been a long break. We're very excited to have you back. How have you been, man? It's been since HRX.
I've been
since
good.
I've been
good. Yeah, I think it'll be
back.
fun.
Where'd you just come back from?
I came back from China. Had
What were
a
you
good
doing over
time working with Tencent, Chinese publisher.
Awesome.
Around some Paladin stuff. So it should be fun. We've worked with them before for Smite, and I'm excited.
Beautiful.
I'm ready to have a good day.
Beautiful.
Unlike Ruckus,
that
had a bit of
was
trouble.
so funny. I'm loving that, actually. I'm going to watch that again later.
Yeah.
So, guys, we got the console.
Maybe we could watch it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
We got those NA qualifiers tomorrow. Today, it's going to be Europe, guys, but we do have a couple things going on for you today. Console has just gone into open beta for Paladins. Make sure you hop on there. Whether you're an Xbox player, whether you're a PS4 warrior, make sure you hop in. It's now free to play. You don't have to purchase the Founders Pack anymore to play, but I recommend that you would because you want to get all those characters that you saw in that beautiful cinematic. But like I mentioned, we are here for the Path to the Premier qualifiers. We got a little something to show you how this is going to work. Basically, here we are for 4 weeks of open bracket, and then what's coming after that, Kret?
Yeah, so then after the open bracket, we're going to go into the Premier qualifier, where teams are going to qualify directly for DreamHack Valencia based on the way they perform through those 3 weeks of round-robin play. Top 2 teams in each region, so 2 NA, 2 EU, will be heading to DreamHack Valencia in Spain.
That's right.
For a 100K prize pool event July 13th, 14th, and 15th, coincidentally celebrating my birthday on the 12th.
Hey, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect stuff there. It's going to be the top 4 teams out of these open brackets. That's where we're at right now, but that's not all. We've got the console wars also happening at DreamHack Valencia, where we will have the top 2 teams from each region on each platform. So 4 total teams playing across Xbox and PS4. That's just going to be 6 weeks of raw open bracket qualifiers together.
And that's soon. May 20th that's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. I can't count. But the point is, it's soon.
For our math.
So you got to get on PS4 or Xbox, choose your console, choose where you want to compete.
That's going to be really cool to see if there's like a superior platform. I know there's like the PC Master Race things going on, but I think that, I don't know. We're driving a wedge between the console.
Are you an Xbox
right
or a PS4 guy?
I've traditionally been an Xbox guy.
I'm a PS4 guy, so you could just leave.
But I do have both in my home now. I know, I don't discriminate. It is 2017.
Yeah,
Gotta have everything.
All right. Equality.
So, guys, we're going to go ahead and take you over to the bracket today, and we'll see what kind of teams we're going to be playing here today. We're going to be broadcasting from the semifinals on. So we've got District 69 versus Wolves Esports first up, and then we will have 50 Shades of Snek versus WASD Sports. WASD being Masters qualifiers wildcard that actually came up and fought their way very valiantly, almost to the end. But that's going to be second there. 50 Shades of Snek, formerly known as Carbon 6. Formerly known as Burrito, as probably most of you know them. That is the name that they are currently playing under. But our first set of the day, D69 versus Wolves Esports, should be a good one.
Yeah, D69 versus Wolves is something I'm quite excited for because they actually faced off earlier this week.
Yes.
And D69, the favorites, just coming off of the Masters LAN in which they won in superior fashion.
Absolutely.
They
lost to Wolves Esports. They got 4-0'd in game 1, and you guys can see the point structure. So based on how teams placed today, it was actually Stone Keep.
Okay.
And that is a strong map for D69. So you can see the placings there. Teams will earn points based on how they place today, first being 100 points. That's what everyone is going to be gunning for, guys. But we are ready. We're going to go ahead and get into the map stream, talk a little bit about the strategy. And you mentioned Frog Isle. That's a very heavily momentum-based map, and I think D69 was actually able to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, you get 4-0'd on Frog Isle, and that happens, right? Like, when I was in China, me and Thomas, our art director, played against the Chinese pros. They picked Frog Isle the first map.
That's awesome.
I was like, all right, I know how this works.
Rolled?
It's Frog Isle, dude. Of course we did.
So you guys can see the map graphic there came up on the screen. We'll be Stone Keep first up for this set. We are ready to go ahead and get into the champion draft. And for those of you that may be new to Paladins, Kret, how does this process work?
Sure. So we have a draft, unlike other FPS. Well, actually, Call of Duty has a draft, but that's sort of a gun and perk draft. Yeah, this is a character draft. So you're going to see Makoa taken away by D69 Wolves. They're not able to play it in this match. They're going to try and respond. Drogoz is a good pick. Aerial advantage, shoots down. Stonekeep is a wide open map. So while the skies can be open and hit scan can do a lot to get him out of that sky, if he's not really dealt with, if he's not really countered, he can just deal damage freely.
Absolutely. So you see Wolves responding with that Drogoz and the Cassie as well. Drogoz.
We haven't seen Cassie second pick in like a while.
She is coming back, especially with Wolves, but kind of overall. Teams are starting to pick her up again. It was just that little buff to actually her ultimate. We put some movement speed on the activation of that Scout ultimate ability, and teams are just trying her out. That's why we do those little buffs, and you can see we just did a little buff to Buck. And there he is, second pick for D69.
Boom! Yeah, I'm not seeing the Shaolin, which I usually expect to see.
No, he's the one that has exited, which is very strange because at the Masters Land, Shaolin was just all over. He was almost in every game.
It just happens over time, I think. You know, champions are going to rotate in, rotate out. I've seen a lot in Smite, and Paladins proven to be the same. Maldamba picked up. I would expect a Ying, but so far I've been wrong about all of my expectations, which is a very pleasant surprise. Bomb King is no surprise, however. A very strong character, great range damage. Large AoE, there's the Ying, so I am right for the first time today.
The draft has been shaken up a decent amount since the Masters when we all kind of knew what was coming by the end of that tournament. But Bomb King coming in, but he is closer to the end this time around, and the Grover picked up.
Oh, please be Doom Shroom. I love the Doom Shroom.
I think so. I think we'll have a good chance of seeing that. So Grover, known for that root legendary, that's going to be pretty strong against both Androxus and Buck.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Root Legendary is just pretty much good against almost anyone. You know, you either have to use your movement ability or you have to die. So, you know, you take your choice. Also, shout-outs to Wolves rocking 3 of those Mastery titles. You get those for playing a champion to rank 20. Yeah, that's right. Now, you can use their title on any champion, but Bees, we can see he's got the Bomb King title.
His Majesty the King, guys. These are the teams here. D69 on the left side of your Spectator UI, out of the blue corner. Accelerant for Bugzy's Bomb King. Half Shell for eLvenpath's Makoa. Darkstalker for PERDO's and Drox's Bounce House, for Shipa's Buck, and Focusing Lens for gerraah's Ying.
On the other side, we're going to see Turret Barrack with Architectonics. It's going to be Kowa playing Exaction Cassie. SeziBland on Maldamba with the Ripened Gourd. Simsiloo playing Deep Roots, as you mentioned, and Slashwhine taking the skies with Fusillade on Drogoz.
I think this is almost exactly the team comp that Wolves did 4-0 District 69 with on this map. PERDO's got a really good angle here at Wolves. He's going to throw out one of those dashes to keep himself safe right now. Wolves, you can see them very carefully approaching this fight. They don't want to give up any picks early. Makoa, the Dredge Anchor, pulls in NTBees for first blood.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Barrack, right? He can't really move forward. He has to have a position and hold it. And now D69 is taking all the high ground. They're moving aground. And I think they're looking for the salty run back here. You know, just give them their draft and then just beat it. Show them who's boss. This team just took the Masters land. I think that makes them currently the best team in the world. But let's see if they can prove it in today's open qualifier.
96% and counting. First payload gonna go the way of District 69, so Wolves unable to recover from that initial first blood. It was only 2 picks. Simsiloo getting a little bit caught out by the double flank pressure. D69 have a lot of mobility to get around this map right now. They're just continuing to look for these picks. You can see eLvenpath on the Makoa, a very aggressive tank player all the way up on the high ground. He is very unconventional with his style of aggression.
Yeah, and Bees, he's surviving here, but he's kind of in a bad spot. He's got nowhere to go. Rocket Boots doesn't get him very far, and with 700 health, sure, he's healing up a little bit, but Bomb King able to secure that kill, no problem. On the side, Shipa waiting in this little cozy fireplace room, looking around the corner with the emo, and he might try to dive in here, but he's going to wait for his tank to push up first. 145, there's plenty of time for D69.
Simsiloo going to heal up one of his teammates there. You can see this is the point where the defense needs to hold. This is kind of their base, where they're going to have most of the high ground on D69, who are trying to break the way in, but they have so much flank pressure mobility. There's the root that comes out. Bugzy does manage to stay alive. PERDO finds an angle on one of the healers for Wolves Esports, so it's a great start to this fight for D69.
Yeah, and Shipa, though, he's itching for combat. Kowa on that Cassie, very low, will be taken down by Bugzy, and now trying to hold the high ground. Wolves is looking to do some damage. Simsiloo roots himself, or pulls himself up into the air, but he's gonna fall. Drogo's desperately contesting the cart. He's gonna go down as well, and it looks like D69 is gonna go up 2-1, but the respawns are coming in. 3 more seconds for Grover.
No more ultimate here to contest for Barrack. He's just trying to stay alive as long as he can. Once he drops, the payload will resume moving, and there it is. The window has been found for D69. They find the conversion here, so they get 1 point for capturing the payload, and they get an additional point for pushing it all the way to the end of its path. So they are now sitting up 2-0 over Wolves.
And here's the thing, it's no secret that Paladins is a little different from other shooters, just every different kind of shooter, right?
Sure.
But one of the key differences that I think is a bit of a secret in our game is generally you'd expect to hold a point with a high ground and crossfire. That's kind of a thing, but really it's having a corner where your tank can stall the payload without just being in the way and getting shot at. So that's why you see that gateway here being the strongest choke point on the map when you're defending that payload push. It's crucial that the payload does not get through that door or you're just 90% going to lose it.
The defense going to fall apart there. Up on the high ground, you can see the silhouettes of the Wolves players moving for that high ground contention. Need to be careful here. The dredge anchor is what allowed D69 to kind of find the first blood in the previous round, opening this team fight up and allowing them to take it very easily. Now Buck has a good option on the back line here. Kowa just sitting here waiting. They're capturing the point this whole time. The hook is down now, so Wolves are probably going to look to get a little bit more aggressive here. They can't afford to just sit here and just give up the capture point.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting zoned
already
inside. Bugzy is low. He's going to fall. That's nice. And Slashwhine finding out Shipa as well. So now it is 5-3. Shipa is respawning, but now pushed back is D69. They're going to need to break onto the point just like Wolves did. But what angle are they going to take? Wolves had the gatehouse. That worked out for them. But now there's just snakes going in that doorway non-stop around the side. It's going to be the Bomb King trying to break in with the ult, but he dies immediately.
King Bomb over the top. Buck Wild has been popped as well, but the Dread Serpent in response is going to shut it down. Shipa's going to be sent with his tail between his legs. Dome Shield down on the point, and Wolves continue to hold here. They move north of 90%. No one is from here to contest from D69. PERDO is trying to get in there, but he's rooted out by Grover. Overtime has been spawned. D69 don't have a lot of life left to give this point, but bugzy is stunning out a couple. He will eventually fall, and Wolves come roaring back and take that
was
payload.
Just a beautiful, tactically won point. It wasn't about really like mad skills landing those shots. It was everyone being in the right place, using their abilities at the right time. And I think that's what's so fascinating about Wolves. They're sort of a younger team on the scene, but they're just so tactically intelligent.
Absolutely. I mean, they were very patient in how they approached that team fight as well, waiting for the perfect opportunity. And there are very few windows in which D69 give you an opportunity to capitalize on, and Wolves waiting and striking at the perfect moment. So they are going to take this payload here and rounding things out. They have the chance to tie up the game here if they can push this payload all the way to its conversion point. 3 picks on the front side of this fight. PERDO is nowhere to be found. He's just poking at the heels of Wolves, and now he's got a good angle on this Drogo. This is a very good matchup for PERDO. He's going to drive it home, sends that reversal, going to remain safe for the time being, but the payload continues to roll.
Yeah, I mean, Slashwhine there, I think he just broke formation and got over-aggressive. His team wasn't there to back him up, and that's not really a guaranteed 1v1. eLven, though, he's got the Ancient Rage, and actually he's able to just fend off all the damage inside that half shell. So Wolves not able to make it through that checkpoint, make it through that doorway. Now Slashwine's gonna fall. He returned to the fight at just the wrong time.
Absolutely, and a lot of healing coming through from gerraah as well, keeping eLvenpath alive in that rough situation there. Only 1 minute remains on the clock for this round. Right now, Wolves just taking the time to regroup. You can see a couple of ultimates starting to come up.
Yeah, that's right. So 3 ultimates on the board from D69, whereas Wolves, they've only got 1. And I think really they're just going to look to try and build up those ultimates going into the next round. 46 seconds. This push is going to be really, really tough.
It's going to be dicey. They're going to have one more shot at it. One of the big things, one of the big decisions you have to make is actually whether or not to spend ultimates at the end of the round. It looks like they're going to. Whirlwind is popped, but the cauterized pressure is strong, and that is an anti-healing item that's coming out right now, preventing a lot of that healing coming out of the Grover. 2 kills for each team at this moment. Now, on the retreat here, Kowa and his Maldamba's healers trying to keep him alive. He needs to go big here. Gets dredge anchored in, and eLvenpath going to capitalize on both of those kills. They're shutting down this push. Only 15 seconds remain. This is probably the point in which Wolves just call it off and wait for the next round.
Yeah, Simsiloo maybe can find a kill here, and that would be nice. I'd love to see him get a kill on Androxus, but it's just going to be Bees caught out of position. Doesn't even realize there's a Buck behind him. So the Buck stops here. He's going to back off. Kowa looking around the side. It is going to go into round 3 for D69. If they cap this, they win. So really that last round, while they lost like hard L on that capture point,
sure,
it really doesn't matter, right? They're still
Absolutely.
up 3-1. They've still got the advantage in this match. But Wolves was looking really good on that point. So maybe they can do it again.
Yeah, there are 3 ways to earn points in Paladins. You get 1 for capping the payload, 1 for converting the payload, and if you are below 3 points, you can get 1 for holding a defense, but you cannot win a game off of a defense. So if Wolves capture again, they will go to the 2-3 scenario, and if D69 hold, they will not win the game. They will not benefit from that defense point, but They're not looking for that scenario. They're looking for the win here. They're trying to get this payload, and they have all 5 ultimates available to do it.
Yeah, and that whirlwind, you know, it really could end up being the undoing of Wolves right here. It's going to be the gatehouse contested heavily. Barrack has to back off. Buckwild is ready around the side, but it's actually the Bomb King ult, and it's going to find a kill on a Simsiloo with the help of PERDO. bugzy taking down Bees, but will get a return kill as well. Slashwhine falls, and with 3 down to 1, it's going to be an easy 50% for D69, if not more.
bugzy going in, trading his life for what was 3 kills for his team, so offering up his life as a sacrifice there to win. Poppy bombs up onto the high ground, 66%, and climbing on the capture point.
I don't think they can reach it.
They need to make a move, and soon here, but it's so tough to do.
No one has the mobility.
Sitting. You can see the zoning shell coming out. They're going to start diving on it. Wolves looking for it. They're going to lose the game here if they cannot get on here to contest. NTBees goes down. 3 kills already gone the way of D69. Make it 4, make it 5. Double kill for PERDO as the overtime ticks on down, and game number 1 going to go the way of District 69.
And that's the weakness of Wolves' draft. They don't have anyone with that really high mobility. They've got ways to do it, right? We saw Barrack use the high ground to rocket boots off of it, get that momentum into the air and carry you a little bit further. Cassie can do that as well. Grover can use his Vine, but there's no one who can get into that point. So when D69 zones so far ahead, it's just guaranteed. They won the fight exactly the way they needed to. They won the point, and now they are up 1-0 in this best of 5.
So after 11 minutes and 40 seconds, D69 come away with the game 4 points to 1. You can see the stats on screen now. PERDO having the most damage on his team, 58,000 on the Androxus, 4 deaths, 19-4. Just kind of, this is how D69, they function so well as a team. Their slash lines always look pretty similar because they're always all participating in all of the eliminations for the most part. You can see healing going to be one out pretty strongly there by gerraah, 65,000 on the Ying. This is due, you know, kind of largely in part. They got the early credit lead, so those cauterizes coming online.
And let's be clear, that zone was rehearsed. Everyone took up their perfect position that the team had already figured out. They knew that's what was going to get them the round, and then they just go through with the easy win. They won the team fight once. That's all they needed. Now, moving on to game 2, I think it's up to Wolves to say, what can they change up? Because while they had a really, really excellent second point fight, they didn't push, and Jaguar Falls could be a bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a little bit different of a map. It's a little bit more closed in, a little bit less room to move around, and there was a very high mobility draft from D69 last time, and they were able to kind of use all of that space spread out. They're all very good players that can function confidently on their own. So they were just off in corners doing their own thing. They can function, you know, with or without teammates. So having all that mobility on their side.
And I think it's fascinating because we're at a level of play where you can't really bamboozle players with that high level of mobility, but you can use it to reposition your team on the fly. And that's what D69 does. It's so cool. Let's check out the draft and see what's going to happen in the second game, because I'm very, very excited to see if D69 is going to go for that mobility on such a tight and enclosed map. Usually we just see a ton of tanks.
So having lost, or having not had the first pick in the previous game, Wolves will now have first pick. And then from this point on in the set, it will just be whoever loses gets the choice of first pick or not. The Wolves kind of thinking about what they want. Kowa has been by and large the majority of the first pick.
It's the ceremonial first pick.
Yeah.
Paladins, we first picked Kowa, but no, it's going to be Drogo's. Wolves, new team, new blood, new traditions. JK, it's Kowa. Production is messing with me.
So he will be locked in. Drogo's probably going to go the way of D69 this time. They may have thought about it just because they do have such a good Drogo's player, and it is a big boon to your team to be able to take this away.
It's pretty good on this map because you can't really get away with it, from him, right? His fire spit's going to fill up basically each discrete area of the map entirely. There's really no area in which a fire spit can explode and not hit everyone in that room. Ruckus, though, very good on this map because pretty much everyone's always in range of his repulsor field, which is going to reduce the damage that your team takes. There's even a legendary that makes it double when he's on the point. He'll probably be on the point all the time. If you're going to pick that legendary, this is the map. Ying, I like, though. A lot of corners. She can heal around corners.
Absolutely, and Ruckus has kind of been something that District 69 have brought back into the fold. They did it this past week in the tournament. It's kind of a newer trend. Not a lot of other teams picking it up just yet, but trend of their own. Wolves here picking up the Cassie for likely kowa again. He's had the opportunity to go off with this pick.
Yeah, now Lex picked up for D69. Probably going to be PERDO, the designated pistol dude, and a Fernando as well. So there's the tanks. But I like Lex because
Can we get that as a title in the game?
Designated pistol dude? Maybe. If we have like another...
If you get Lex and Androxus.
The next time we have a pistol champion, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
All right. So Lex, I mean, he does so much damage at close range. We'll probably do another one, man.
Can you confirm
Gonna keep making champions forever.
There we go. So the draft starting to round it out here. Fernando actually brought in. So D69, I think they just favor that mobility over the Barrack, right? And Barrack's pretty immobile in terms of he just wants to get to a point and he just wants to set up. Whereas Fernando can move around a little bit more in the fights, and he tends to do that, getting in the face of backliners like Victor and like Cassie. But Cassie can just kind of kite people around. She's got a lot of mobility on herself. Aldamba is the healer selected for District 69. That will be the draft for game number 2. Who are you liking?
I'm curious to how much damage this Lex is going to do. I think that's going to be the swinger. Bees with luck. So pull and kill is the plan. Go with gunnery. Interesting on this map because it's so tight and enclosed. Focusing on Ying. Starting to see a trend. It's just high damage with Catalyst on Pip and Slashwhine with Exaction.
Or D69 up 1 game in the series. Combustible. So like you mentioned, those fire spit style builds for Bugzy on his Drogos. Aegis for eLvenpath's Fernando. PERDO will be playing Lex with that Death Hastens legendary Shipa with the Flux Generator on his Ruckus. gerraah running Ripened Gourd for his Maldamba. 4 cauterizes again right out of the gate for D69.
So here's the thing. I love the Aegis pick on Fernando. You can keep that shield up forever, and shields block Makoa's pull. Because the plan for Wolves is to pull and kill Shipa. Look at it. He's already dead. First blood going the way of Wolves. Their plan has worked. But in the front line, it's Lex. He's so far forward. It seems to be working, though, as Slashwhine goes down, Kowa goes down, and PERDO with the 3-0, 4-0 on the Slashwhine. He's looking...
Oh, he jumped up the net for the
denied,
penta. Designated pistol dude here. PERDO with the quadra kill to open up game number 2. Despite giving up first blood, D69 know the fight is never over as long as designated pistol dude is alive.
But here's the thing, right? They pull the Ruckus, they kill the Ruckus. Simple strategy, but they basically used everything, right? That's their strategy. That's their trick. They weren't able to disengage, and PERDO was able to engage. He goes in, he goes hard, and he forces a penta. I'm not going to say he gets the penta because he didn't, but everybody died, and it was his fault.
Exactly. They're on a 4 streak right now with all those eliminations to his name. And you bring up a good point. Once the hook down, that is the core staple of this Wolves strategy. Unfettered aggression is a good way to go about, you know, just continuing to push here. 2 minutes remain. Fire Spit comes over the top. Slashwine's ticking from the dot, but he will be kept alive once again in the backline. PERDO already finding 2 kills in this engagement. Another Fire Spit might knock Makoa off the map, and it does. Bugzy with a little flavor kill there. SeziBland is not long for this world as well. PERDO claims his life, and 1:46 remains to push, but I don't think D69 are going to need that much time.
No, they're really not. You know, I can't get over this strategy from D69 as there's just, look at eLvenpath. He's doing his thing. He's just, look at him. He's dashing around. He's still alive, dude. That's all he does.
He loves this strategy, and there it goes. The payload will find the end of its path. 2-0. D69 are now leading Wolves. So it looks as though, you know, after losing the community tournament, the ESL Go 4 Cup, they just figured it out.
All right. Here's the thing. So,
give us the
Wolves strategy. They're going to pull you. They're going to kill you, right?
Sure.
Pull a tank because he's the first one out of the gate. Makes sense. Here's the problem.
They got
You played Smite.
Yeah.
You know about hard engage, right?
I do.
Ruckus doesn't have it. Not really. Fernando doesn't have it. Not really. But if you pull a Ruckus into you, the fight has started.
Yeah.
He's absorbed all that damage. D69 is doing damage too, but they're doing all of it everywhere. They've got another tank to back it up, as you mentioned. I think really Wolves, the Makoa pull, sure it gets a kill, but it's just starting the fight for D69.
Sure.
It's not really working out for them.
So maybe a good strategy here just to meet the aggression with more aggression. You don't want to sit and just wait and get picked off one at a time. You got to push it strong here. You can see now the law is up. This ultimate will execute any target within line of sight of Lex. If they are under 65% health, you can see those little golden emblems above their heads. That means that they are within execute threshold. So PERDO going to be looking for that.
Ooh, but it looks like PERDO is going to get low. Not dead quite yet. And Shipa is just holding the front. Barrage comes in, but they knew it was incoming and will negate it with that Fernando Immortal, which makes sure that everyone around eLvenpath cannot be reduced.
Bugzy just knocking that Makoa off the map again with his fire spin. eLvenpath with one of the most Fernando plays of all time, literally just standing still with his shield up, blocking the entire corridor. D69 able to come away with the second payload in round number 2. Looking for the game here. If they convert this payload, it will be that swift 4-0.
I'm still waiting for PERDO to die. I don't think he has, and honestly, kind of don't think he will. But I'm also questioning, is he going to use that ultimate? You know, we sold it hard. It's really good. 65% execute is harder to pull off than you would expect. It sounds a little weird, but trust, it is. The law does come out. PERDO is going to die for it, but he gets the Ying, and I think that'll work. Beautifully, beautifully aimed fire spit there. Just going to thread the needle, find that kill. And now it's bugzy. He's in the front. He's got some healing from his Maldamba, and he's got the ultimate. If he can find the Kowa, I think that's going to be the match.
This is eLvenpath just creating so much space for his team to work in the backline. They're able to just unpredator aggression. Here we go. Hexafire comes out on top of the payload. He will pay with his life for it, but does find one. Dragon Punch comes out from bugzy as well. Big chicken here. Evil Mojo from Pit, but he trades his life for it. eLvenpath still alive, protecting all his little baby ducklings, and they will survive for the most part. PERDO is here trying to drive this payload home to conversion, and they will. D69 gonna find it.
Yeah, absolutely awesome play from D69. You know, on a fundamental level, they got outpicked, but that outpick is a part of a greater strategy that D69 employed to beat Wolves, right?
Sure.
They saw what was happening in the draft, they countered the draft, and then they employed that counter in the game. It was a strategic counter and not just you pick the wrong dudes, we pick better dudes, we win. PERDO did die.
Yeah.
He did die 3 times.
You bring up a good point here. It's not like D69 just blew them out of the water in terms of damage. It was only an 8-minute game, but you know, Victor Kowa here, 34,000 damage, 28,000 for Slashwhine. They were able to, you know, get damage in there, get damage done. But there was just a lot more strategy, I think, involved, and a lot of space created from eLvenpath in particular on this Fernando. And this is a character that's not really been favored for a long time now, but eLvenpath is really making it to seem like it's working.
I mean, he is the OG Fernando player.
He is.
Actually, this team kind of has 2. Their official cheerleader, Coral, another
That's
Fernando
true. Maybe
main.
she taught them.
Mastery 25.
She taught them how to play
Giving
it.
the hot tips.
And now they can bring
for the
it
hot
out.
man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're ready to go. I do also want to note that that is 2 Cassies played by Wolves with 2 different players. And honestly, I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not a pure skeptic. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm not seeing it in these games. Anyway, let's take a look at Serpent Beach coming up next.
Yep.
And if this can go the way of D69, they're going to take the whole kid and caboodle.
They will. And this is kind of a map that's a little bit more mobility based, closer to Stone Keep, I would say, than Jaguar Falls is, in terms of we probably won't see double frontliner brought out by D69 this time, but we'll go ahead and get into the champion draft. We'll not speculate here and just let you guys see for yourselves, see what the boys end up picking. And as Wolves did lose that last game, they have the choice and they have chosen to gone with first pick here, and it will be the Kowa once again.
All right, so we're right about that, and here's just the thing. I think we're doing a really good job of figuring out why the things have happened, right? I still don't know what's going to happen. That is still eluding me. Maybe I'll figure it out by the end of the day. And Drox's first pick, see, I have no idea. Why? I'm sure we'll find out. I mean, it's going to go to PERDO and he's going to kill people?
He's going to kill everyone here. And typically, they will prioritize these types of picks because there's a lot of high ground on Serpent Beach. And being able to take and control that is very important here. Wolves going with the second Maldamba, and they do get the Drogos in the second phase of the draft here. So D69 kind of just looking like they're going to let him have it.
You know what I love about Androxus, right? His mobility doesn't feel as insane as Maeve or Evie, but when he's able to go...
you said me instead of
Maeve. As you, yeah, you're very mobile. I've seen him run. But when he's able to go up and down between 2 different levels of the map, he's really mobile. He can do that over and over and over, switch between high ground, low ground, high ground, low ground. It's really powerful. Now, Ying getting picked up against Maldamba, we've seen that every game today. I'm still waiting for the Ceres.
Yeah, we might see that in the next series. So. Bird of 50 Shades of Snake loves that character. Been playing a good bit.
We made it for him, so
Wolves,
I'm glad he does.
They're heading back to what looks like the comfort picks here. Pip and Ruckus being taken as well. So D69, they're just going to let the Drogos go this time around because they do have the Androxus. Very good matchup there. And rounding things out, Fernando as the sole frontliner for D69.
That's right. Fernando, once again, going to be played by D69. I'm excited to see what it can do as a solo frontline. I think he's helped out a lot by Torvald not being in the metagame.
Sure.
Because Torvald, essentially, is just built to deal with Fernando's shield. But Simsiloo with Catalyst, Pluck, Kowa, that's no surprise. Flex Generator on Kowa, they're going to try and be on the point. Ripe and Gourd here going to slow people down. Fusillade for those direct hits, as we usually see in high-level play.
So D69 up 2 games to nothing. Accelerant for the Bugzy's Bomb King. Aegis for eLvenpath. Fernando. Darkstalker for PERDO's and Droxus. Bounce House for Shipa's Buck. And Focusing Lens out of the legendary choices for gerraah's Ying. 3 Cauterize and 2 Wrecker for the boys in blue.
You know, I'm loving this trend of Focusing Lens on Ying with the high-level players because Ying's DPS, right? Her damage over the course of the match isn't really all that high. But the amount of burst she can do with Focusing Lens in a single discrete moment is absolutely astonishing. It wrecks. So let's head into play. Wolves need to get this win if they want to stay in today's tournament.
So 0% here on the point. D69 taking a little bit of chip capture here, 3%, engaging up on the high ground, fighting for that control. Long-range rockets coming across. First blood, gonna go the way of PERDO, but quickly answered back by Simsiloo onto eLvenpath. Shell spinning down onto the low ground, trying to keep his team safe. Dredge Anchor's up in 1 second. Can he land it? No, it's gonna miss. NTBees with a clutch whip there, and PERDO goes on to slay his Drogos.
That's right, and here's PERDO, but he gets stunned. Oh no, now bugzy diving in, looking for the kill onto Damba, and not able to slither away this time. It is 72% for D69, which is confusing because their front line died immediately.
Dredge Anchor gonna pull in bugzy and actually slay him. There was a lot of damage mitigation coming out from Ruckus. They're able to stabilize that fight for the boys of Wolves. 42% already on the capture point. eLvenpath is here. The Buck is back as well. Shipa's gonna confirm that kill with a heroic leap and a Goomba stomp down onto the point. So nobody making progress right now as both tanks are standing on here, but eLvenpath, he's gonna have to give it up to the Ruckus. The sustain is just too much.
Dude, just look at how much damage gerraah was able to punch out there completely unnoticed. Now though, it's gonna be Wolves on the point, 80%. Elvin's gotta go in to contest. He's gonna pull up his shield. How long is it gonna last? I mean, this is solid 5 seconds for now, but in the future, as Wrecker comes online, it's going to die a lot quicker. Overtime in play for the Wolves. gerraah contesting on the Ying, not necessarily the best contester, and as those alien chickens come out, it's actually going to turn back the way of D69.
PERDO able to swing this fight in such a clutch favor with his Accursed Arm ultimate there in the back line. D69 against all odds come away with this first payload here. Bugzy just continuing to lay down damage. Just keeping up the aggression here. He's got 2 teammates with him. eLvenpath being the most aggressive of them all. King Bomb is ready to go if they feel they need it.
Yeah, bugzy up on the high ground, trying to hold this area. Gonna take a fire spit to the face and say, gotta go. Pushing the payload cart forward is PERDO in the area as Androxus going up and down, as I said before. Bugzy does have his ultimate available. Wolves are kind of grouped up. The question is, are we going to see the King Bomb at this point in the match, or are we going to see it wait for the next round? Makowa's shield will fall. Ruckus on the front line as well, but Elvin's going to go down.
Shipa bounce housing in on that Buck. Here comes the King Bomb over the top. He's looking for the healer. He's going to find the Slither, waiting it out wisely, just rolling right into his face. Almost takes him out in one shot, but one follow-up bomb will do it. PERDO driving all these kills home for Bugzy. He finally gets one of his own. PERDO, though, in control of that backline fighting. 1:30 remains here on this payload push. Simsiloo on this pip. He's going to be soloed out. He's actually going to come out on top of the 1v1 there with PERDO.
Yeah, that's really unexpected, and now Kowa able to escape Fernando, blocking for his buddy Bugzy. Ruckus forced off of the high ground and on to the objective. It's in the final stretch, and a nice 2-man Grumpy Bomb is going to do some damage, though. Fernando caught out. He's round the back. Pluck will get the kill, but the problem is Pluck will get the kill, and that's going to be down for this next phase of the fight. Doesn't matter, though. Everyone backed off. So
everyone just backing off there. I think eLvenpath dropping his shield maybe a little bit too early there. That 2-man juicy fireball was just too much for him to resist. He's too aggressive in nature, and that's kind of, you know, how he made his name. He makes so much space for his team to work in the back line. Rockets here need to connect with PERDO. A couple of shots already coming through. They're going to find the opportunity to throw out the evil mojo there, but no follow-up damage, so it's going to be completely wasted, and Shipa's just going to continue this aggression. 1 kill for 1 right now. Wolves trying to hang on for their tournament lives.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a big Dread Serpent to try and hold PERDO, moving around the side, looking for the damage. He's not able to find it, missing 3 in a row. Don't think I've ever seen him miss that many shots in a row, but now Fernando in the front, holding the payload with 6 seconds left. If he goes down, Immortal is gonna stop it.
There we go now. One more shot from PERDO is going to clean up Drogoz in the backline, now turning his sights onto Pip. Has his ultimate available if he wants to, but now trading out kills is not going to be enough. D69 need to come away with some clean stuff. There's a grouping here, but they're going to fall short, it looks like. Shipa comes bounce housing back in. PERDO falls. Shipa's the only one here to keep the overtime going, and D69 just going to let this one slide here. And they're going to tie up the game 1-1 with that defense point.
They were winning the fight, but they weren't winning it fast enough. As a result, the respawns come in and push D69 out. But let's talk about that 70% right at the start. I'll bet it's Ying. She's able to just sit on the point during a big fight when everyone's off doing other stuff and still do her job. Yeah. Summon the illusions off in the front. Long range, maybe she takes the range card, and she's just potatoing up 70% of the capture point. That's what allows D69 to get that first point, but it's still only 1-1. I don't feel like there's really going to be a credit advantage off of that. Sure. As Wrecker comes online, though, I think D69 is going to be worse off than Wolves.
Absolutely, and that's kind of how you can separate yourself as a great support player following along here with gerraah, is your positioning, the position where you put your clones, how you heal your teammates, how you choose to prioritize what teammates you're healing, standing on the point, but still being able to affect the fight from a long distance away is all hallmarks of a good support.
And that ultimate timing going to be crucial as well. It does get dropped by D69, so Ying's illusions are going to be healing everyone all over. Bomb King flying into the front is going to help get a kill onto Bees. And it looks like this capture point is going to be quickly on the way for D69.
A couple of ultimates used there from D69, continuing to clean up kills in the backline here. A lot of burst damage coming out. Ruckus is in a bad spot, throws in a Defiance, a little right-click style there, hitting those 420, blazing up the backline. PERDO continues to find more and more kills here, still has the Accursed Arm ultimate if he chooses to use it there. Just keeping up this aggression.
I wonder who's on the point.
Yeah, there's Ying back there on the point, capturing it up.
Well, because even if your team is completely out of range, you can still drop clones in the front, so when they retreat, they're going to immediately get healed with a little bit of burst, too. Fernando using that shield to try and keep himself alive, but he's going to go down. Bugzy there, Poppy Bomb back.
What a trusty steed that Unicorn is. You know,
yeah,
what's a knight without his steed riding into battle? 2 minutes remain here on the payload push. Bugzy just laying down, trying to maybe just find some lucky poke here. That's kind of the name of the game. Bugzy's going to try and find some poke, and then it's going to be Shipa and PERDO that mobilize on those poked out targets into the backline, trying to confirm those kills. And confirming kills is one of the hardest things to do when there is so much tankiness and so much healing coming out from this Maldama's got a great angle on these tanks to just rip them apart. Bugzy on a 5 streak.
And that's what Bomb King is so good at, man. He can just demolish tanks. Amazing accuracy, and it's really the air explosion that allows Bomb King to do that. He doesn't know where exactly you're going to be, but he knows he can put a projectile in the area and then blow it up. Now, around the backside, it's actually going to be Androxus taking a bit of damage, but going aggressive with the help of the Bomb King to get that Ruckus a little bit low.
Bugzy knows those drops perfectly there. Now in the chicken form, Dread Serpent comes out as well. A lot of ultimate spent to try and defend here, and Wolves gonna need it, sending D69 crawling back out for the time being. 1 minute remains here, but the only one still in there was eLvenpath. He does actually go down now, and still 4 ultimates, 5 now on the board for D69. Only 3 to hold with for Wolves, so D69 might be looking to strike here with plenty of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they've got 46, and that's enough for one team fight and a push in. They weren't successful last time, though, so they might have a bit of trouble here. Nice fireball from Fernando. He's going to take the front, does have Immortal, and I think he's going to try and use it for his team. As people are starting to get a little bit low, but Buck, he's alive.
Popped in the back line here, finding a couple kills. Shipa gets one, Bugzy finds one, PERDO finds one. eLvenpath will go down, but still has a lot of damage left to carry this team fight. And the window has been found. D69 sneaked the payload in under the Wolves' noses.
That window was so small too, right? Like it was just sort of nothing happening. Oh God, everybody dead.
that's how D69 do it. And they do it with 2 ultimates as well.
Only
Buck Wild and Illusory Rift spent for that.
Well, Buck Wild is ready, and it was a beautifully timed Illusory Rift to keep Buck alive. That was, I think, the key, because they were able to beat a lot of abilities onto him.
Yeah. That's kind of Ying's strength there. She has the ability to heal a big group of people that is very spread out You know, with that illusory rift, it will spawn a little prism basically on every one of gerraah's teammates, just continuing to heal them up. 3-1.
Only in that area, though.
Is the scoreboard.
Important to mention.
Only in the area. 3-1 is the scoreboard here for D69, looking to drive home this set and make their way into the finals to face off against the winner of the next semifinal set here. eLvenpath straight to the backline, just ignoring the two tanks here. Now they're just kind of left on the low ground with nothing to do.
Yeah, what tanks? I'm sorry, I missed it. But eLvenpath, though, he seems to be taking a lot of damage. Bomb King blowing the horn, coming in to help. They're actually just going to focus on the tanks. Elvin, he actually retreated in time. Good for you, man.
Yep, and now the
he made it out.
Will be taken out from Wolves, and you know, that's just smart play. That's the whole philosophy.
Yeah.
There's no taunt in Paladins. They can't force you to fight the tanks. And the whole philosophy of a tank is, you know, you're only useful when people are fighting you. And eLvenpath's just going to do that job by literally placing himself in his enemy's faces.
Who else are they going to fight?
And not relenting there. Immortal could come out here, but Slashwhine just going to Dragon Punch a low health healer in the back line here. We'll have to see if that's going to be worth it. 3 members of Wolves on the point here. Immortal's going to come out. Bug's gonna come in here, laying down the damage. PERDO from the skies with the accursed arm is gonna drive home a couple of kills, but Simsiloo swinging things back in his team's favor for the time being, and bugzy is gonna be able to slam that kill home. One last member of Wolves will fall here. The overtime has been started. D69 trying to close it out.
Body block stops the overtime from refreshing. That's going to be big, but it's not going to be enough as Ruckus does just barely get onto the point. Defiance, if you hit all 3, is the optimal choice. So you can use that on the big fat mech tank. D69 going to take the victory in, once again, strategic fashion. They're very good players, but that final team fight, right? Elvin blows Immortal. Everyone uses their movement abilities to go in all at once, simultaneously flying through the air. It's actually beautiful. It's like a Flight of the Valkyries.
It's poetry in motion here. D69 coming away with the semifinal set. See the stats on your screen now. 85,000 shielding for eLvenpath, able to beat out both of the defensive tanks there for the boys of Wolves Esports. gerraah not quite able to contend with SeziBland's healing, but it's all about the win here. And 16-4, that's a good slash line. Another important thing you want to do as a support is not die.
Objective time. My boy gerraah, 2:06. Homie spent 3 minutes and 20 seconds sitting on the objective in a 13-minute match. So that's a lot of time.
He's getting it done for his team there. Bugzy on the Bomb King. All good damage numbers from Shipa and from PERDO and from Bugzy. Beautiful stuff there. We'll head on over to the bracket. Talk a little bit about the next matchup coming, as D69 did find the win here. The third win, the win that they needed, 3-0 over Wolves Esports. They turn it around after losing the ESL Cup to them during the week. It will be 50 Shades of Snek versus WASD Sports up next. I'm excited to see hopefully some Saris out of Bird from 50 Shades.
Yeah. I'm always excited for this matchup. WASD does have Spunky on it.
Yeah.
Former member of Burrito, former world champion. So I don't know if there's bad blood or rivalry, but I like to think there's rivalry, right? I love watching them go head to head.
They're
Snek
cool
or
now,
WASD.
but you know, it always feels good for Spunky to beat that team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like whenever there's a team that used to be a part of or whatever, there's always something, right? You got to be like, no, I was the better half.
Deep down.
It's part of you.
Wasn't the problem there, guys. That's going to do it for this set. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break here, and we'll be right back with the next semifinal set.